want you to know almost everybody in America almost does enough to win. They almost get there. They almost are over the hump. They almost have it going. They almost, in everything they do, almost is a way of life to almost everybody in America. But the winners do it. What do? They do whatever it takes to get the job done. They do it and do it and do it and do it and do it until the job gets done. And then they talk about how great it is to be somebody they're proud of. We need leaders in America who can do it. If you want to become somebody, do it. If you want to go in business for yourself, do it. If you want to become financially independent, do it. I hear too much talk in these United States. Everybody can talk a good game. We need people in America who can do it. I go all over this country with A.O. Williams, and I have people say, Art, you can count on me. Wonderful. Just do it.
Just do it. There we go. Welcome, everybody. This is going to be exciting. We are going to be breaking down the difference between the different lead generation models, right? We know that you can earn it, you can wait for it, and you can buy it. Okay, let me explain. Earning is being proactive. It is what is commonly referred to as prospecting, right? This is where you take part of your time, part of your day, and you actively go and reach out to property owners or people that represent property owners like other investors or real estate agents to find some opportunities. And it's absolutely incredible. It's powerful, and it keeps your budget very small, especially when you're starting out to get proof of concept in this business, to go from faith to fact that you can go out there and find a great opportunity and turn that into income for you and your family. It is the place to start. You do that in two ways. One is cold calling. The second way is going out and knocking on doors. Okay. And so this is where you're usually starting. This is how you're building momentum. This should be typically about your first 100K that you earn in your real estate entrepreneurial efforts comes from being proactive. All right, this is going out there and having really good quality conversations with distressed property owners or the people that represent them. All right, the second way to get business, to generate great leads, is to get referrals, right? But you're waiting for those, right? Typically, you want to build around 30 people that know, like, and trust you, that are going to send you one deal every single year. Just one deal every single year. Typically, this is going to be made up of family, friends, and real estate agents, okay? But it takes about 24 months to get this up and running because you got to build a reputation for being able to actually close deals. All right. Now, the last one that we're going to talk about today is about buying opportunities, buying those conversations. Remember, as a real estate entrepreneur, it comes down to two things: conversations and making offers. Conversations and making offers. So you're either reaching out to them or they're reaching out to you, and that's what happens with marketing. That's called buying those conversations. And it is unbelievable. The leads are fantastic. They typically close in an average of 30 days, where when you're prospecting, when you're going out there and you're jumping into people's lives before they've really made that decision, typically it takes 90 days to get paid. So one, marketing leads are faster. You get paid a lot faster, but you have to pay money for people to call you because other people will spend money to have people call them as opposed to call you. So there's more competition in this buying space, but the marketing leads that you get are absolutely bananas. They are so good. And I am telling you yourself, when you start getting these leads coming in, and your acquisition managers or your conversion team, your sales team are going to love these leads. And we're going to break down a segment of the marketing efforts that you can, of the lead generation efforts through marketing. We're going to be talking about pay-per-click. All right. But before we get there, right here, keep this in mind. This governs everything that we talk about with lead generation. Your lead generation should cost between 10 and 25% of your income. Let me say that again. If you're not getting a minimum of 1 to 4 return on your marketing, you're going to be out of business. you're going to be out of business, because the other costs in your business, the operating costs, the sales costs, the conversion costs, all those costs are going to eat up your profitability, and you're not going to take any money home. So make sure whatever you're doing, you're getting at least a 4 times return. You're not spending more than 25% on your marketing efforts. Make sure you mark that down. Make sure that you're tracking that. Make sure that you're understanding what the parameters are there, because profitability matters. This is a cash machine. Going out and wholesaling real estate is a cash machine, but you need to have cash to be able to pull out of this business, to go buy the assets, to go buy those incredible rentals, to go and buy those apartment complexes, to go and buy those whatever trailer parks that you want to buy, right? Or mobile home parks. So it is exciting when you do start transitioning from prospecting and referrals to marketing, because the leads come fast and usually they're really big deals. But I don't know anything about pay-per-click. That's why I brought on somebody that worked with Google and really understands all the Google ads. And I was able to pull him in to my business. And it is my pleasure to show you the results that we've had so far, and to introduce you to my man, Jesse Tank Champlain.
Hey guys, what is up? I'm super excited to be here. Super excited to chat with you about pay-per-click. It's been a crazy turn of events of how we've pivoted and understood that this market, it's not about casting your net, it's about fishing with a spear.
Well, it's not so much of a pivot, because we still make the calls.
Right.
I still have my team. I still do texting. I still get referrals. But the 4 legs of my stool are calls, text, referrals, and pay-per-click.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so adding that 4th layer has really been explosive this year.
Absolutely.
Because of your expertise with pay-per-click, which has been phenomenal. But it doesn't, we want to go over the results that you've had, but I really want to give the audience, I want to give everybody in here the opportunity to ask questions about it. Because to me, it's a huge mystery. Like, how do you set up your website? What's important about it? How do you know how to budget? How do you even spend ads with Google or with Facebook?
Right.
You know, how do you do these type of things? And how do you make sure you're not just throwing money away? How do you track it?
Exactly.
So let's get into some of these nitty gritty, and then we're going to open it up to questions, guys, in about 10 minutes, so that you can really grill Jesse, who is an absolute pro at this, on how you can go and implement pay-per-click into your business if it's the right time to be able to do that. So just starting out, what's important when you're starting out a pay-per-click campaign?
So the first thing you have to realize is your landing page, your website, is the most important part of this whole process when you're just starting out. Because one, it's your online billboard, right? You have this beautiful machine called Google Ads. But one of the factors they have of serving your ads to people is your landing page experience. And so if you don't have that dialed in from day 1 to 15, you're going to be spinning your wheels, and your ads aren't going to get served to those potential sellers, right? And so that's the biggest thing, step 1.
So when they come onto your website, it has to be clean, it has to be very clear.
Yep.
And are you trying to get information from them right away? Are you trying to, show that they can trust your business?
Right.
Like I feel like there's a weird balance there, that you're like trying to get their information, but you're also trying to show that you are a real business.
Absolutely. I think.
So how do you do that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is a mix of both. All right. So one of the biggest things that you have to realize is there's a lot of psychology behind a landing page, right? And so when they go to your website, it should be clear and concise of what you want from them, right? But also understanding that there is a sense of, oh, there's a team behind this, right? And so every single landing page we built out with the help of Robert, who's our web guy, is almost geared towards, right? You have your obviously your homepage, right? That has your property address, your what you do, et cetera, that value proposition. But you also have your meet our team. And we have a great picture of Brent and his team on the website. And it is it honestly attributes to the fact that we have nearly a 20% conversion rate on our website, is because we lay everything out there. We're not hiding anything, right? We're not trying to hide anything. We're very, very intentional about the copy that goes on our website, right? And so, yeah.
Can you show it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's pull it up. Matt, pull this up so that we can see. Sorry, guys, if the audio was a little bit off when I was at the whiteboard. I don't know what. Okay.
So
Let's
I'm gonna
look this.
actually. You can see
Roberto, no, I'm not using Bateman anymore. I brought Jesse in full time to run this campaign for the business, and I'll show you the results of what that looks like. But go ahead and show the.
Yeah. So this is our first iteration of our website, right?
Okay.
So we have, very clear and concise, the simplest way to sell your Arizona home without fees.
Right.
Right. That gives them a clear picture of when they click on our ad or our website, right? They understand what they're getting. There's no mystery of like, whatever it may be. And then at Joe Homebuyer, we believe.
I was told that on your website, they should know exactly what your website's about in the first 3 seconds of them saying it. Right?
Easily.
Okay.
Yep. And then our subheading is at Joe Homebuyer, we believe the house selling process should be faster, easier, and hassle-free for Arizona home sellers. Get your offer today. The structure of that whole subheading is at Joe Homebuyer, right? We're establishing brand awareness. 2, we believe the house we believe the house selling process should be faster, easier, and hassle-free, right? That's a value proposition.
Benefits,
right?
Yep.
And then at the very end, you have your CTA, your call to action, right? Get your offer today. There's a lot of psychology that goes behind that. And then if you scroll down, they're like, okay, that's cool. And then it goes into the step 1, step 2, step 3 of how this process actually works. And then, the benefits, etc. And we've actually cleaned this up, and I actually want to show you
a rare picture of me not wearing TTP gear.
Look at those guys and gals.
Amazing.
Wearing a polo.
Wow.
And so this is another huge part, meet the team, right? I don't see a lot of wholesalers doing this. They don't have a meet the team part. And one of the things I learned at Google is,
well, a lot of the competition, not to cut you off, but I did, sorry. But no, but a lot of the bigger competition that we're looking at when you're in your Google account are these bigger brands that are nationwide.
right.
And they're running these ads, so there's no real face to it. There's no real, these are the people that you're going to be working with. It's just kind of like a stock photos.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and remember, you guys are positioning as local home buyers, which you are.
Yep.
So then, like I said, meet the team. That copy is super important. Go through the bio of your team, right? Like, what have you guys done? If you haven't done anything, that's okay. Like, figure out like how to write that in an enticing way. And then you scroll down, you have your lower submit form, right? And then you have your reviews. I think reviews are a very powerful tool. Like, what is the community saying about you? Like, what is like the heart behind it, right? And so, yeah. And then you have your FAQ, which I believe is also incredibly important. That if they're looking at the FAQ, 9 times out of 10, they're going to submit a form.
Will you show the results so far of where we're at?
And I got a question, just tech language, right? So Jesse, you said that this website has a 20% conversion rate for PPC traffic. Does that mean out of 100 PPC leads that you guys send to this website, 20 of them become actual leads for your business? Is that what that means?
Yeah, correct.
Got it. Okay.
Correct.
That's killer.
Yeah. Sweet. And then, let's go into the stats of what we've been able to build. Matt, if you want to bring up that, awesome. So leads generated, and this is in the last 45 days. We've generated 140 leads. The average cost per lead is $220. We've spent $22,000, and this is the fun part, right? Our assignment contracts have generated $214,000, right? So, and that return on ad spend is ridiculous, nearly 10 to 1.
Yeah.
Right. And so for me, when I look at that, and this is something me and Mike talked about, I think last week, these people are hot. They need to sell. They're in search mode, right? In the terms of Mike, they're in search mode. They're ready to go. And so I think leveraging PPC is so important. And yes, it's expensive, but that return on ad spend, like Brent was saying, if you can get to 5 to 1, 7 to 1, 10 to 1, man, you can change your life.
Oh yeah. Well, what are people doing that they're making big mistakes? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I've gone in and out of pay-per-click, and it seems like it works for a little bit, and then all of a sudden it doesn't.
Absolutely. One of the biggest things, and this is why I believe it's so important to have an in-house PPC guy, is your Google Ads changes on average every 2 weeks. Whether that's attribution, whether that's, copy, how they, whatever it may be, it's changing. And so if you're not optimizing on your wins, you're going to fall behind.
So if you're somebody like me that doesn't understand any of this language that you're speaking, I mean, obviously I found you, but how do people find somebody that's going to run their pay-per-click or be able to, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
is it something that you just try to find a VA and hope that they do? Do you find an agency to be able to do that? Do you try to learn it yourself? Because listen, it's not going away, guys. You know, pay-per-click has been here for a while, and it's going to stay for a really long time, or at least getting internet leads or doing marketing through internet resources, right? Getting these people to reach out to you is powerful, and it's going to stick around, but it's not something I would say if you have, $500 in your account, you're going to go and set this up.
That's a question I had, right? So because those numbers are sexy, right? So if we're going to spend 20, 25 grand and get $250,000 in assignment fees, where in your business should you be to take the leap into PPC, and what do you need set up? Like, who do you need? What do you need to make this actually work so that you don't lose your ass?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, first you build up your momentum being proactive, right? That's what's going to make you super profitable. Either you're getting referrals, or you're going direct to the property owners, or on market, or with real estate agents. But you're still being proactive. You're still calling people. You're still learning how to negotiate. You're still learning how to really navigate the conversations with property owners and the people that represent them. That's how you start building the momentum. And then you get people to replace you doing that, right? People are calling and they're texting and they're getting you leads and they're bringing this in. And then once your cup is overflowing with leads, that's when you bring in your junior acquisition manager. Your junior acquisition manager starts warming up those leads. You start just going on the hot leads and going on the appointments. And then you have to have enough capacity to where the leads coming in aren't overwhelming your team. And then you start getting into pay-per-click.
Right.
And they have to be on it immediately.
Absolutely.
Speed to lead.
Speed. And it's got to be really fast.
So these are not leads that you cut your teeth on, because these are pricey. These are leads that you're working when you know what you're doing, you're comfy, cozy, having these quality conversations, right? And you kind of have a foundation. Is that right?
Yeah, I would agree.
And by the way, Mara and Randy, we're doing Jesse's coming on the Rhino Tribe tools and tech training tomorrow morning at noon Eastern time. Well, not morning and your time, Mara, but at 9:00 Pacific, noon Eastern time, and he's going to be breaking down how everybody can set it up. We don't really have enough time here, but join us tomorrow. Jump on those because they're rhinos.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the most important things when it comes to back to your question, finding a good PPC guy or a good agency is one, I think a lot of agencies or a lot of, let's just say, marketing guys, they want to specialize in everything, right? And they want to look at everything and they want to be in every single niche, et cetera. From my experience, I would not hire a person that is marketing in multiple areas, right? Because I want someone who is a genius and knows wholesaling or knows real estate at the bare minimum. Because if they don't, what I struggled with, like if I'm being fully transparent, is understanding that not all marketing campaigns work the same, right? Some people look for brand awareness, some people look for whatever it may be, but for wholesaling in particular, you have to be so dialed in with how you search for these leads. Where for me personally, I audit our search terms, which are essentially what people are searching in Google and what they're looking at and when our ads are popping up. And the reason I audit those is because if I don't, then we're going to be showing up for things that we don't want to show up for, right? And that's wasting money. Obviously, it's pay per click, right? You're paying per click, but your ads aren't serving the right people. And so if you can't find the right people, you're just...
Again, throw up the case study just to show everybody where we're at this year. And we'll just keep updating this. And I kind of wanted to like shotgun approach this first 20 minutes because I wanted to see what kind of questions were coming out. And I don't know Alejandro just left, so I don't know if we're able to grab any questions. I don't know what just happened here. But we're going to open this up to questions. One question that I have is when the lead comes in from marketing, how fast do we have to get after it?
So my rule of thumb is within the first 10 minutes. Minimum. And we have a great junior acquisition manager. Chad is a stud. One of the good things about having an in-house PPC guy is I work directly with them every Tuesday. We have a 30 to an hour minute meeting where we talk about what's winning, what's not winning, improving strategy, etc. And so at Google, and we called it SLA, right? When we got a inbound lead coming in, right, we had 24 hours to reach out to them, or else we were docked. And so one of the biggest things with that is these sellers, right, these house sellers that are looking to sell their house, they're not only going to your website, they're going to go to another website and another website and another website. And it's, if the first person to call them is you, your chances of closing that contract through the roof.
Yep.
Through the roof, because they know that you're on it and they know that you actually care, right? So,
well, and also it's about building your sales skills, which we've talked about. We've done multiple shows on here, multiple videos on really asking great questions to the property owners so that you can see what is going on with the competition that you're dealing with. Because what I found is with these marketing leads, there's more offers that they're looking at.
Yep.
Right. And so relationship really matters, and really asking the right questions to get down to what is the pain that they're going through, so that you know how you can heal them through your offer. Absolutely. And that's truly what we're doing as wholesalers, is we're looking for people that have a problem. Right? That they have something going on with this property in this situation that they want to get out of. And we have to cater our offer, whether it be something creative, whether it be a cash offer, or whether it be just referring them over to a trusted real estate agent. There's really 3 buckets that we can put them in. Novation's a little bit 4 if you're really advanced. But you won't know what that is unless you qualify them and really understand what is the pain that they're going through. And that's really what we're looking through. And people typically, if they're going to be filling out an application, I don't even know if that's what it's called,
lead form,
but a lead form on a website, there's something going on there.
Yeah.
3 big things I took away, right, was PPC been around for a long time, going to be around for, the foreseeable future, right? It's good for, once you have experience, right? And then I want to differentiate real quickly. Cold calling is proactive marketing.
Yes.
You do it on your own time, right? PPC is what you call reactive marketing, which means you got to be at the ready. So as soon as these leads come in, speed the lead, you're getting to them in 10 minutes max. I'd say get closer to 5 if you can, because these people, they're in heat, they're ready to talk. And if you get them, timing is everything here. And if you don't get them, chances are, because they're searching, somebody else is going to get them if you don't.
Yeah, Todd Toback one time on stage in 2017, speaking at the Wholesaling Inc. Summit, talked about if you have a leak in your roof and it's pouring, you need to have somebody come over and fix that leak in your roof as soon as possible, especially if you're looking at the weather report and it's going to rain for the next week type of thing. So they call, they're like, okay, I got a leak in my roof. I need somebody to come over right now. And if you don't answer, they're calling somebody else. As soon as somebody answers, somebody else and somebody else. So it's really important also, and you bring up a beautiful point here, is if you don't have the availability, if you're in the military, if you're driving trucks, if you're a nurse, if you're a teacher, if you're have a job where you can't just jump on your phone anytime that you're getting a lead coming in, you're throwing thousands away.
Thousands. You got to be full time.
You're throwing thousands. That's why being proactive early on until you can go full time into this business is really, really, really critical, because you're having conversations based on your schedule. You're talking during your lunch break. You're talking from, 5 to 6 o'clock when you get off work. You're having those conversations on your schedule. But then once you start closing those deals and you fire your boss and you start building your business, and then all of a sudden the leads start pouring in. Look at this background today. I love this background today. This is good. Like a waterfall, you need to be able to get on them right away, or they're going to find somebody else. That is the dual-sided blade that is marketing. Because when those leads come in, you have to be available. Absolutely. And I highly suggest, listen, guys, I've tried it so many times. I've tried to have professional call centers answer it. I've had the top tier people, for that have businesses that answer these calls coming in or respond. Nothing even close to my team taking those calls, because the skill level is way different.
Especially on these leads.
Especially on these leads. When you're paying $220 to have somebody call you or fill out a form on your site, you better take it seriously. And so we've done, it's at 216, but really it's probably higher than that because one of those deals we have is massive.
Huge.
And but that one, it's got a we're closing on it this week. Actually, we just closed on it.
Yep.
But we have a post possession for 2 months because the guy is moving. But it's a bananas deal. We got it for $195.
Yep.
And Zillow's at $370.
Freaking crazy.
And it's a newer house.
Are you guys running PPC just in Maricopa County, or are you going in and around other counties as well?
Yeah. So we started out, a strategy we used was actually targeting rural areas, as well as Phoenix, Tucson, et cetera, the big cities, if you will. And then we realized, okay, we need to dial back a little bit and focus a lot on Phoenix.
Yep.
Because Phoenix, we were getting, 60, 70, 270s actually, $70,000 assignment contracts, right? And so understanding the importance of pivoting in that aspect on location is so important. Because
it's cash buyers too.
Yeah, exactly.
Where are your cash buyers? Where are they paying the most? That's where you're going to get the most out of these deals. So let's open this thing up to questions. Welcome to the Wholesaling Inc. live show. I am Brent Daniels, joined by the incredible Mike Mahoney and Jesse Tank Champlain. We're here to answer any questions that you have. Number one, any challenges that you're going through, we want to make sure that we destroy those. Number two, I want you to squad up in the comments section. All right, squad up in the comments section. 3, we want to give you the instruction to go out and implement into your business. And number 4, you know it, we want to celebrate your successes, whether they be big or small, whether you just found your first deal from Driving for Dollars or you closed $1 million deal. We want to ring this victory bell. So make sure that you put in the comments section. This is a live show because we want the participation, because the participation makes this show.
By the way, guess who's back this week?
Who's back? Alejandra's back.
Yeah.
Alejandra is back, and sorry,
gentlemen.
fellas.
Yeah, sorry,
She
guys.
is recently engaged. Hey-o. Put some love in the comments section. Cade finally popped the question. They've been together for 17 years. It's wild.
Yep, somebody finally tied her down.
Just kidding. So let's crack this thing open. Matt, about how many leads would you recommend pulling per month when hand dialing to not run out? Great question, Matthew. So you want to call every lead that you have twice. Okay, go through it 2 times. And when you're hand dialing, it just depends on how many calls you can make per hour. But typically it's going to be between 30. It depends on how many people answer. But you're anywhere from like 20 to 30 calls per hour. So then just look at how many numbers. If you take the first 2 phone numbers that you get for every address that you get. So when you put in an address to get skip trace, to get the phone numbers, you're going to get 1 to 10 phone numbers. Only call the first 2. And so you're going to call 2 per address. And if you're making between 15 and 30 calls, I mean, you're there for anywhere from 7 to 15 addresses per hour. Just look how many hours that you have to be able to make those calls, go through the list twice. And that's the equation that you should use. That'll let you know how many leads that you should have. And it just depends on how many hours you can put in. But I would say just starting out, if we're just making this simple and easy and not worrying about math and being brainiacs, get 500 addresses and go to town. But don't let that stop you. I mean, if you have 50 addresses, go bananas. But you're gonna get into a rhythm, and then all of a sudden something switches when you're making a lot of calls. You actually start getting energized by the calls, because I mean, you're just a certain amount of no's, people telling you no, they don't want to sell away, until you get to that yes. And typically you're going to have 1 out of 10 people, if you're calling on ugly houses or distressed situations, 1 to 10 of those would consider an offer. And that's how you build up your pipeline of leads. And then boom, you're off and running. Great question. Is that it? That's all the questions? Oh, Marcelo, you don't have a cost of full-time employee included. Okay. Yeah. No, I don't. But I'll tell you this: it's less than it's less than what we're making. I'll tell you that. How long have you been on?
February 1st.
February 1st. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's got a base salary of $80K. So add that in, Marcelo, if you want to get super analytical. But you also have to. How many leads are pending?
Are pending as in
How many do we have in the pipeline that we haven't closed?
3. Or sorry, that was from last week.
Like hot leads.
Oh gosh, 25.
Right.
Yeah.
Renee, is this a carrot-based website or a custom WordPress theme?
My favorite question. So we are, me personally, I love WordPress websites because you can get really, really in depth with how your website looks, etc. We actually are on WordPress. That website I showed you on is WordPress. We use Carrot, I believe, for a little bit, and both are great. I just love the control that comes with WordPress.
Yeah, we built out our own based on what we saw. Well, what you saw was the best performing.
Yeah.
Because you were able to go in and see the most successful ad accounts.
Yep.
And because of that, just watching it and really keeping a thumb on the pulse of what's going on, really catered the website to the best ones that you had saw were converting.
Yeah, I actually, if on this question, I do want to show the new website we have, if that's okay.
Awesome.
Matt, can you pull up my screen, please? Boom, boom. Okay, so this was a project that took us about, I'd say 3 weeks to get it, writing all the copy, getting everything going, etc. And so I want to run you through this and kind of why we went with things that we did. So as you can see, we kind of shortened everything down, made it a lot simpler, added names like Chad or Ryan from Joe Homebuyer will reach out. Then we went down and, added, why people are looking for, why people sell to us, right? Foreclosure, expensive repairs, downsizing, etc. And then we even shrink this down. So if you see the difference between this one and this website, right? So if I go here, this is a lot of verbiage.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we went here, right, it's clear and concise, right? That is my mantra when it comes to landing pages: clear and concise messaging. And then we have, of course, get your offer, etc. And then we have meet the team, right? We were really intentional with this page. There we go. Really intentional with this page. We bolded out, since 2004, we have been working with homeowners like yourself, goes on. And then one of my favorite parts of the website, and this is where I get really nerdy in this, is when you hover over this, the color psychology behind this is impactful.
What do you mean?
So red, the color red, it means essentially take action, right? And so get my cash offer today. Even the wording behind that, get my cash offer. They want that, right? That's why they're on your website. That's why they clicked on your ad.
Exclamation.
So, exactly. Cool.
Interesting.
Powerful.
Awesome.
Exactly. Cool. Thank you, Matt.
Randy, what are typical marketing costs and ROI in your market? Well, before, when we had shut down pay-per-click before, it was like we were spending $15,000 to $20,000 a month. I'm sorry, per deal. And that's why it was it doesn't make any sense because of the deals we were getting $40K, sure. But if it's not 1 to 4, you don't, after you get the commissions going in and after you put the money in because the money is 30 days ahead of your income. The investment that you have into your marketing is 30 days, 45 days, 60 days ahead of your income for when you're doing marketing. So it's you're constantly putting it into the pot and you're never taking money out of the pot. And that's what I am known for. And that's what I do the best at, is taking money out of the pot, right? Taking money out of the pot, taking it home and making this thing a real cash machine. So now it's, what's the cost per deal? 2,000? What do we have? 2,500? 4,000.
4,000. Yeah.
4,000. There you go. So $4,000 per deal. And we're averaging 40,000 per deal.
Yep.
So, and then the other marketing costs we have, Jackie can break it down, Randy, on Monday's calls, are with the text blasting and then our text message marketing. So how they prefer it. And, hiring the calling team. And so it's right in line there. It's right in line. I like 1 to 10. I mean, that is you make 1 to 10 on your marketing efforts, or your lead generation efforts, and it's over. I mean, you win. Yeah. Roberto, LOL, I just signed up for 6 months with Bateman. Did I make a good choice? Yeah, we worked with him for a long time, Roberto. They do a really, really great job. Just make sure that you're getting the return that you're looking for.
Speed the lead.
Yeah. And make sure that when the leads come in, you are, you got to watch that speed to lead thing, because Speed to Lead is a whole different company, and they're going to think that you're promoting them.
No, one of the things I've done in my life I spent a lot of years in the leads business, right? So speed the lead is kind of just an industry term. Yeah. Speed the lead. That's probably why they named their company.
Yeah, it's a smart deal. Chris Glick, what about if I'm doing cold calling myself? Would it be good to do pay-per-click when I'm doing cold calling, or wait till I can outsource all my cold calling so I can answer the pay-per-click leads? Thanks, Brent. If you have the budget and you have the opportunity, like if a call comes in or a lead comes into your email and you can respond in 10 minutes, Chris, test it out. Yeah. You know what I mean? But make sure that you're real deep. You don't want to add too many marketing channels at once, because nothing will happen. It'll destroy your business. So make sure that you've got a really nice rhythm, Chris, and I know that you do with your calls. And then if you want to add to this, that's great. But make sure that you have a good base, a good nest egg that you can tap into for these efforts, for sure. Would $1,000 a month be fine with starting out with pay-per-click? Suburbs from Seattle asks.
So I'm assuming you're from Seattle, right? I think they'll be a little low, if I'm being honest, because
what's the minimum?
I think minimum, depending on market, is bare minimum 5,000, 5,000 a month. And if you're in a hot market, I would say maybe Seattle's hot.
Yeah,
I feel like
very
it is.
Hot.
I would say 15, because you got to realize one of the biggest things that we could easily overlook when we're determining budget is who's in the market, right? Who are you competing against? Because if you can't keep up with those guys, you're just gonna get swallowed up, and it's gonna be rough. And so I would say $1,000 a month might not cut it. Maybe on Facebook. I don't know.
What do you think, Mike?
I think when you're looking at a lead strategy, it's time, it's money, it's experience, right? Yeah. And I think importantly, you got to pick one, go deep. Once you get that working where it's consistently profitable, you move on to the next one.
Awesome.
But PPC it's not for everybody, candidly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but I would agree with that. Yeah. At least $5,000.
Yeah.
Bobby, I have some land in Arizona and Colorado that I have under contract with a friend looking to get rid of them. If anybody has land buyers in either, let's squad up. That's awesome, Bobby. Make sure that you put your contact information in the chat and make sure that you're giving some information about it. And then I would highly recommend that you reach out to Brent Bowers. Brent Bowers, find him on Instagram, find him on Facebook, whatever. Send him a DM, Bobby, because he does a lot of business in Arizona and Colorado, and he is the land master. So I'd highly suggest that you reach out to him.
Unless, going back, $1,000 a month, if you don't mind waiting 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nathan, which software do you use primarily for pulling comms, Privy or PropStream? If I'm pulling comms outside of I use my MLS because I have a license, and several people on my team have licenses. So if it's a local comp that we're doing, we're going to just use our MLS. It's the most accurate information. Outside of the when I'm like comping for students around the country, I'll use PropStream at TTP data. Yep. Great question. Carl, if doing PPC, which is better from a cost perspective, nationwide or local?
That's a good question.
Oh, great question, Carl.
So I would start local. I think that's your safe bet because you know that market, right?
What if it's a major market?
For me, I mean, we're in a major market, right?
Yeah. You have a budget.
Yeah, true. Good point. It really depends, right? Because you would have to determine a lot of different factors. You have to do your market research. You would then have to do your keyword strategy. If you don't know, there's a website called SEMRush that I rely on heavily.
What is it? Say it again.
SEMRush.com.
Can you put that in the comments, Hunter? SEMRush.com.
Where you can look at keywords, how much they cost, what's the average cost per click.
Let's just pull it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, just pull it up right here. What kind of coffee you drinking, Mike?
Strong coffee.
Oh, strong coffee.
Yeah, really strong coffee.
All right.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so this is SEMRush. I use this for a plethora of things. One of them is keyword overview, right? So when I type in "sell my house," I will then search, and it's based in US, so you can't get super targeted with it, but you can make your you can make a good assumption,
Okay.
right? So I go here and I look at, okay, keyword difficulty, 81%, pretty tough. Then I look at how many global volume, right? 9.9K in US. The trend is good. Your average cost per click for this keyword is $47.32. And then they have variations. This is where you can get really ninja. One of the things that a lot of people can do is a thing called long tail keywords, right? You start with sell my house. Then you go to sell my house fast. Then you go to sell my house fast for cash. Then you go to sell my house fast for cash in Phoenix. When someone's searching those longer keywords, they're not only hot, they're like in full search mode. And so once you do that, you can really, in my opinion, understand your market. You can also use Google's keyword planner if you want to get on location. It's not as accurate, which is ironic, but it is what it is. So in my opinion, if you're in a big market, do your research on what you'd want to spend. And if let's say you're virtually wholesaling in Ohio, I would probably start there if we're being honest, because Ohio isn't too crazy, I don't think. But yeah, hopefully that answers your question.
Can you look per market on SEMRush?
Not on SEMRush. On Google Keyword Planner, you can.
What is that?
Super easy. It's you create a Google Ads account. It's free. You go in the top left here.
Okay,
I'll share it with you.
Yep.
So you go here, Matt. Yeah, you go to Keyword Planner and Tools and Settings. But one of the biggest things is this isn't as accurate as it could be. But let's just use sell my house. Get keyword results. Then in here, you can actually do Phoenix, Arizona. Boom, save. And then you can see kind of a rough estimate of, your average monthly searches, your year-over-year change, et cetera. Your top of bid page bid, which is $70. And then this is a high range is 163, et cetera. So.
But that's why having a great landing page is critical, because if they click on your ad, it needs you need to convert it.
You have to. You can't be
so important.
You can't be having these websites that are like, I go to Squarespace and I click a template and I add some copy or whatever. It doesn't work like that. It might have worked 10 years ago, but things have changed and they're evolving quickly. So.
Awesome. Marvin, the main objective is to get leads through a lead form, right? What kind of questions do you ask to know if the lead is actually a hot lead or not?
Wow.
Great question.
Let's see the form.
Yeah, that's a fantastic question.
You want to see our form, Marvin? Here you go.
One sec, Matt. I got to pull it up really quick. Boom. All right, you can go ahead and share the screen. All right, so enter an address, get offer, boom.
It's going to freak out the team. No.
Right.
Go ahead.
And so then you have your name, your email, your phone number. Those are all, as you see the red asterisk there, they're all required. And then obviously home address as well. The tell us about your home is so important, because if they're filling that out, like we had one a couple days ago where they're like, it's in distress, we need to sell it quickly, etc. 9 times out of 10, that lead is going to convert, I would say.
Yep.
Because they're taking the extra step of, telling us about their home, right? And so not only that, there's other ways of doing this, which is a multi-step form, which is going to be, is the house listed, things of that nature. What's the condition of the house? And this is something we're actually experimenting with right now, is, things of that nature, right? And those are very, very common questions. So like what I look back on, and actually Mike helped me out with this very early on, is what is when you're calling someone, right? What questions are you asking them? They should reflect on your lead form, right? And so
but the more questions you ask, the more filtered the lead, but the less leads you're going to get.
Exactly. But in turn, the hotter the lead will be.
Right. Yeah. So on this, you're just asking, if we just have their name, their phone number, their email, and their address,
Yep.
we're going to go to work.
Exactly.
Yeah. Quick, easy way to set up PPC for $2,500 spend a month. Company or service you recommend?
Oh, that's conflicting. Quick and easy, and PPC is an interesting way to phrase that. So I would say it's simple. I wouldn't say it's easy. So I have 4 steps, if you will, that I would go through when setting up a PPC campaign. First, do your market research. 2, do your keyword research. 3, get the landing page set up. And then 4, essentially start.
What do you mean do your research? What does that mean?
So one of the big things before I even started here, I was looking at, okay, what are other companies in our area doing to win? And what is the, what's the threshold? What's the monthly budget going to be? And so I found that information out and looked at, the winners in my area, looked at their website, looked at their lead forms, looked at what they're asking people, and then created a plan off that. And then keyword strategy comes down to, in a way, I call it the inverted funnel. So you start with a small keyword, then expand out, right? And so a quick and easy way, if you want to spend $2,500 a month, would be Google Ads. That's your best, in my opinion, best ROI. Because
not Facebook?
Not Facebook anymore. I enjoy Facebook, but a lot of it relies on your creatives and what your ad actually looks like. And you can't get as targeted, if you will, on Google. Now, Google is, a machine in and of itself, right? But if you are really, really into this and really want to get started, I would say go to Google ads.com or ads.google.com, whatever it may be, and start the process of your market research, keyword research, and then that will help you adjust your budget, because then you can go on SEMRush and see what keywords the competitions are using. And so it's called Keyword Gap, by the way, on SEMRush.
I just want to throw out big difference between Facebook and Google, right? So Google, these are search leads. These people are searching, right?
Yep.
Facebook, these are not search leads. These are display leads. They're showing up in the news feed. So you're going to have to sift through a lot more junk, right,
There you go.
to find the decent leads.
Yeah.
Got it.
On Facebook, because they're not searching.
Yeah. So, Tony, to answer your question, PPC and Facebook are actually the same thing. Google Ads and Facebook are different. And what Mike was saying is these are just showing up in people's feeds on Instagram, Facebook, etc. Where Google, they're actively searching for sell my house fast, right?
Facebook still works,
Yep.
right? But again, you got to have the people, processes in place to properly work the Facebook leads.
Correct.
Great question. Freddie, hey Brent, on a property where the best use is to tear down the small house and build new, will developers expect the lot to be cleared before they buy? There are 2 under construction next door. No. I mean, it just depends. It just depends on, no, it doesn't even depend. I'm not even going to be an attorney on this. Like, we've sold plenty of small houses that they just bulldoze and use, but you have to take it into account the cost to remove that property. And to remove a property is anywhere, it just depends on your market, between $8,000 and $20,000, depending on the size and depending on the foundations. And so, yeah, you got to take that into consideration. But usually somebody's not going to be like, well, I'll buy that deal if you clear off the property first. Like, these guys are construction guys. They're going to go and bulldoze that thing out in an afternoon and get it hauled out of there and start work. So they know what they're doing. Don't even worry about it, Freddie. Like, just find a deal, put it in front of your developers and see what their response is. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to like go into all these different calculations. I remember when I was starting out, I was trying to do all these calculations and figure out, all the costs for all these things. And then I would sell it to people and they didn't care. It was just price point and they understood their numbers. I didn't understand their numbers. They had different numbers, and every contractor and every developer has different set of numbers depending on, if they're doing it for themselves, are they doing it for an investor? It just depends. So don't even worry about that.
We're not contractors.
We're not contractors.
We're not appraisers.
Nope.
We're not attorneys.
Nope.
Right.
Yep. Abreu, my man. By the way, give some love for
Legend.
Abreu. He does an unbelievable job. He is the editor, director, supreme master of Wholesale Hotline podcast, and he has grown that to almost 200,000 downloads every single month. He's done a phenomenal job. So for you, Abreu, come on.
Whoa.
Besides SEMRush, what are other tools Jesse recommends? How much can Brent bench press? Recently, 370. The most of all time, 385. Real weights, not those fake weights that you're seeing on TikTok and Instagram where they're just, putting fake weights up. Real metal weights.
Nice try, kids.
Nice try. I see you guys cheating. Besides SEMRush, SEMRush, what other tools does Jesse recommend?
Yeah. So another one I use, it's a website called wordstream.com. That's for keyword strategizing. Looks like this. And then another one too is Google's Keyword Planner, and then the Performance Planner. The reason I use the Performance Planner is for forecasting, right? Google runs off an algorithm, and using that algorithm to your advantage is going to be using that Performance Planner where you put in numbers. If like we were raising our budgets, right? Okay, let's put in the number we want to raise it to, and let's see how many leads we could potentially generate off of that. Performance Planner is slept on, in my opinion, in the digital marketing space. So
I will tell you this, and I could bring Chad and Ryan, my acquisition team, on here right now, and they would say exactly what I'm about to say. The difference between text leads and cold call leads versus PPC leads is night and day. I mean, they have literally, and I've given them, we've made millions on calling and texting, and it still works. It's still going to be a fundamental of what we do in our business. This is in addition to doing those two techniques. But I will tell you this. It feels like they're like battle hardened from these other leads. Like they went through like a war. They've got scars and battle and all these other things. And when they get in front of these pay-per-click leads, they're like, this is too easy. This is too easy. Like I can't believe how like they are just like on cloud 9, because it's just like, we'd go into spurts where Ryan would lock up like 2 deals, 3 deals, 4 deals, like right in a row in a week. And then it'd go like 2 weeks. And we're like, Ryan, what are you doing? What's going on? And this has really gotten us the consistency of getting 2 deals every single week. And typically, guys, we're doing 1 deal every week. And it's between 30 and 40. It was at 50, but the market shifted, and it's been wonderfully profitable. But now we've added this, and now it's adding another deal every single week. And this year it's just going to be exciting to see where we end up, because this quarter is already going off like crazy, and it's fast. It's really, really, really fast, and they love it. These are their favorite leads of all time, and they've been with me for 2 to 3 years. Ryan and Chad,
this is important, right? So as a wholesale business owner, right, you've built out a stool, right? Your marketing should look like a stool. You start with one leg, right? Let's just say cold calling.
Yep.
Then you build out the next leg, text message marketing. Then you build out the next leg, referrals. Then you build out the next leg, PP. 1 is the most dangerous number in marketing for your business, right? You start with 1, but you need to build out a stool over time as you grow and scale your business.
100%. Right? Just make sure that you're not going over 25%.
Yep.
Make sure you're not going over 25% with your marketing. Nathan, how do you disclose you may wholesale without losing the deal? I recently had one after I found out he had a higher offer on the table. I told him I wouldn't be the buyer, but I may be able to get him. Is that it? There's what he wanted if I was able to wholesale it, but he never called me back. Yeah, we're the buyer every time, Nathan. And we have the ability to wholesale every deal. It's in our contract, so we talk about that. But I will close on every deal. You should be able to close on every deal, Nathan. Every single deal. I am telling you right now, reach out, and we've got plenty of videos on this channel. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe, guys. We've come out with unbelievable interviews, instruction, and these live videos every single week on this channel. But you need to have the ability to close the deal, Nathan. If you're just going out there saying, yeah, I'm going to get this to somebody else and wholesale this, you're done. You need to be the buyer. Be the buyer. And the way you do that is you go and you talk to a hard money lender who is an asset-based lender. They don't care about you. They don't care about your credentials. They care about what discount did you get on this deal. They will fund that deal. So now you're a cash buyer. So go out there with the confidence that you're a cash buyer. If you don't do that, if you don't take the instruction that I just gave you, you're always going to lose out on those deals because you're not going to have the certainty and confidence to go there and negotiate that deal as a cash buyer. But you are. The whole industry is set up for you to be a cash buyer out there. There is private money lending and hard money lending in every single town. So just find somebody that'll be your backing, your financial backing. And if some of these hard money lenders require a significant amount down, 20%, 30% down, great. Just go find an investor that's a few steps ahead of you and just say, when I find a really great deal, will you joint venture with me? They will say yes. So now you've got all the funds that you want. So there you go. And it talks about your exit strategy in the purchase contract that we give out. And if you need that, that's at wholesalinginc.com. Awesome. This show went by fast. I mean, we could probably do 15 hours on this. Yeah. Truly, we really could, because there's still so much mystery that I have. I'm just like, get the deals, close the deals, get it done, right? Johnny, 370 bench is bananas. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I was pretty proud of it. Marcelo, is this something I could reasonably outsource to an expert in, say, Mexico?
Yeah, I would say yes. One of the biggest things in digital marketing is you're going to have to vet your people if you're outsourced. Extremely hard.
How do you vet them if you don't know what to vet them?
I think it comes down to, almost how you kind of vetted me. You tested my knowledge. Right. And we, obviously knew what I was talking about, so that helped.
Well, you worked at Google.
Well, yeah. And I want to throw this out there, right? So there's a lot of PPC firms. Mm-hmm. Jesse early on gave you a great tip for finding a good vendor. Make sure they specialize in finding motivated sellers, right? That should be their focus, right? Because there's a lot of PPC agencies that do everything, right? They go after the butchers, bakers, candlestick makers. You got to find somebody who focuses on motivated sellers, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And not people that make candlesticks.
Yeah. No.
Obviously.
I'm getting old.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. You and me both, bro. You and me both. That's awesome. Claudio, Brent, like you said, PPC leads can oftentimes feel like night and day. With that said, when you consider CPL, cost per lead, isn't it a lot more efficient compared to training, hiring, callers, list management, spam? I don't think that they're the same. I think that you can hire really great talent to be proactive in your business and bring those leads in. They just take longer to close. But marketing leads are different than prospecting leads. I mean, it's still lead generation, but I don't consider them the same. They both go into our bucket of leads. But I'll tell you, when we get leads from marketing, it's faster. They're ready to go. The appointments are set, and it's either a yes or no really quick. With the calling, it's always going to work. It's always going to work. You're being proactive. You're going to have this business comes down to conversations and offers. So if you're having enough conversations with people that own ugly houses, you're going to win. And as long as you're making offers and you know how to do that and you have the sales skills and the closing skills to be able to do that, you're going to have less leads coming in from marketing. But the likelihood that they will sell at a discount and work fast is really high.
And it's I would caution not either or.
All right.
Right. It should be and. Yep. You start with, based on your experience, your time, your money, you start with one lead source. Build that out, move to the next. And as long as the numbers are giving you at least a 4X return, you're in a good spot.
That's it.
Right.
100%.
And that's the show.
At least.
That went by fast. Come on in. Let's go. Alejandra is here. She's looking super tan from her cruise. Matt, come on in. Daniel, come on in. It's a group effort. Come on in. Thank you. Yeah, that was awesome. Well, guys, if you want Jesse to come back on, please put in the comments section. We'll get him back on to deep dive even more. On behalf of Daniel and Matt and Alejandra and Mike and Jesse and myself, remember, keep your house clean. Keep your house clean, right? Your actual house and this house, right? Protect your health and increase your value to the world, and you'll live an incredible life. We'll see you next week. Love you.